Washington, D.C. CNN, the late U.S. Rep. John Robert Lewis made his final journey on Sunday across the famous bridge in Selma, Alabama, where the towering civil rights figure helped lead a march for voting rights in 1965 that came to be a key part of his legacy. Following a short ceremony outside of Brown Chapel AME Church on Sunday, Lewis' body traveled on a horse-drawn caisson through several blocks of downtown Selma to the Edmund Pettus Bridge, where Lewis' flag-draped casket crossed. It was on that bridge that a 25-year-old Lewis and other marchers were met by heavily armed state and local police who attacked them with clubs, fracturing Lewis' skull. The caisson paused when it reached the bridge's steel arch that bears its name. The final crossing provided a new chapter in the history of the bridge and Lewis' relationship to it. The concrete and steel structure that was once stained with blood during the violent clash was covered with rose petals on Sunday, a somber moment honoring the fallen civil rights icon that stood in marked contrast to the scene in which Lewis was brutalized 55 years ago. John Lewis and number 39, great-nephew, my uncle was and number 39, my hero and number 39, and number 39, it and number 39, it's up to us to keep his legacy alive and number 39. A small group of family members, including Lewis' son John Miles Lewis, brothers Freddie Lewis, Samuel Lewis and Henry Grant Lewis, and the late Congressman's sister, Rosa Tyner, accompanied the caisson in part of the procession. The black caisson was modeled after the one Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had for his funeral, with red brawn wheels and pulled by two black horses. It was also met by Alabama state troopers. 55 years ago, state troopers were among the law enforcement officers that clashed with protesters on the same bridge. Scores of people lined the streets near the bridge to pay their respects. Among them was Velma Martin, who drove 5 hours from Orrville, Alabama, to witness Lewis' final crossing. I'm out here to celebrate a legend, a life of a person who sacrificed for others, she told CNN, so it gives me great honor and pleasure to just get up and stand here to salute him for what he's done. Sunday's event is part of a 6-day memorial ceremony honoring the longtime Georgia Democrat that began on Saturday in his hometown of Troy, Alabama. The civil rights legend died on July 17 at the age of 80 after a 6-month battle with cancer. Bloody Sunday.